a lot of black women are not aware, Brother David, but a lot of the chemicals that they use in this country are not allowed to be used on the heads of human beings in the very countries where the chemicals are processed. So when you look at most of these chemicals coming out of China and Korea, Chinese and Korean women are not allowed to use those chemicals on their heads over there. They are toxic. They cause fibroids. This has been documented that the perm and the weed, the chemicals in the weed, lead to fibroid tumors in black women, brain cancer in black women. So we are literally killing ourselves to look like white women, clearly. And so it is diet, it is the beauty culture that black women live in. They go and get their hair fried once or twice a week. All those chemicals they ingest, they smell it in. Okay, I read something somewhere where it said the chemicals that a black woman will ingest through her head and through her nose while she's getting her head tended to, they said it's equivalent to like somebody working in a coal mine for like 18 years or something like that. So black women got to understand that their diet, as well as the toxic Eurocentric black beauty culture of America, is killing them. And then you add to that the birth control, Baba David, the birth control pills, the birth control shots, the different implants that they put in their arms not to get pregnant. You take the birth control with the beauty culture, with the diet, and then number 4, the agenda of the white power structure to prevent black birth. And you wrap those 3 ingredients together, and you get the genocide of our black women. And that's one of the big reasons why I motivate black women to go natural, because going natural is just not about your pride. It's not just about your culture. It's not just about the rejection of Europeanization. It is also about your survival. These chemicals are killing our women, and they don't even recognize it.
Wow. I knew that the glue and the other chemicals that they put in the hair was causing the damage. Look how it make the hair fall out. And the hair fall out, and they'll say, okay, well, I'll let my hair rest for a little bit. But then they go right back to try to look like something that they're not again. It's like they know that it did damage to their hair. They heard that it has chemicals in it that's going to seep, because your hair is a living follicle. And it absorbs those chemicals.
It does, Baba David, but I'm also going to say black men have not done enough to make black women feel comfortable in their skin. For example, Baba David, I'm the only personality, and I don't want to say scholar because these other guys are not scholars, YouTubers, but I'm the only prominent personality in the conscious community in this entire country who regularly and unapologetically tries to influence black women to go natural. I'm the only one. There's nobody else who does that. Just like I'm the only one who says black men need to stick with black women. None of the rest of them say that. They don't advocate our sisters going natural, and they don't advocate our brothers staying loyal to our sisters. So a lot of this is the black man's fault. Our women are trying to emulate the European standard of beauty that black men have made clear we want to see.
Well, you know, black men are afraid to be truthful with black women because they don't want to get cussed out, fussed out, and left in the cold. You know, so they will lie to the woman. They won't tell her. As I said, they already know. They know that the damage that they do. And then if you got a woman and you saw her hair fall out, and you say, okay, well, look, baby, you know you're doing, and then it's going to be an argument. Because well, you can't tell me how to dress.
But the black man wants his woman to have the weave and the perm.
I don't know about that. Some of them do.
Well, I've had sisters contact me and tell me how they went natural and their men did not appreciate it.
Wow.
I've had many black women tell me that.
Yeah.
And some of them were dating some of these so-called hotep YouTube scouts.
Yeah, because that's what image are they looking for in their woman?
Exactly. We're not pushing the natural look. We're not. Black men are very much into the European standard of beauty. We are very much into it. I mean, listen to these rappers when they call black women ugly. Somebody sent me something the other week where Chris Brown, and I actually like Chris Brown, but somebody sent me something the other week where Chris Brown made some derogatory comments about dark-skinned black women, that he didn't like them or they were ugly or something like that. You know, Kodak Black, you know, who's richly melanated himself, he's made comments about dark-skinned black women. If you go into Jay-Z's history, although he hasn't done it recently, Jay-Z is very much a light-skinned supremacist and has made comments about dark-skinned black women. And then we also got to hold black women responsible for celebrating the music of artists and entertainers who publicly degrade black women.
Yeah.
So sisters, because you can't dance to the music that's calling you a bitch. You want to dance to it. And then when somebody calls you one in your face, you got a problem with it. That's a contradiction. Now, don't get me wrong. Nobody should be disrespecting our sisters, irregardless of their behavior. But I'm saying black women need to be more consistent with the message they're sending to the world. I mean, you go on Instagram and you see black women just promoting their bodies, you know, for free sexually. Our little girls even. I mean, we are living in an era where black women have lost their shame in terms of publicizing their private parts to the world.
I know.
So there's two messages being put out there. One of them is the message of decency, respect, cultural protection. And then there's this other competing message of the Cardi B and the Nicki Minaj that's going on out there. And I don't intend to disparage either one of those sisters, but black women tend to go between two worlds, just like black men do. We'll talk about the queen and the earth and the goddess, but then at the same time, we want to go to the strip club. So black men and black women need to stop being hypocrites, choose a side. If you are for Team Thought, then be for Team Thought. If you are for Team Queen, be for Team Queen. If you are for Team Simp, be for Team Simp. But if you for Team King, be for Team King. And we have to make up our minds. It's the same thing with white supremacy, Father David. One day we want to be with the power structure because we can get something from it. The next day we want to fight for freedom from the power structure. You can't go between both worlds. We have to pick a side and stay on it. It's the same thing I say to my supporters, Father David. I say, listen, I don't care if you support me. I don't care if you don't support me. But will you please pick a side and stay on it so I know who is who?
We're going to go to our next caller. Get in the caller. Welcome to New Worldview. What's your first name and where you calling from?
Sana. I'm calling from West Philly.
How you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm just feeling all different types of emotions right now listening to DrUmarJohnson. I never heard of you guys before, but oh my gosh, like this is about the perms. In the hair products. I have been warning, coming to Philadelphia from Ithaca, New York, warning sisters in Southwest Philly and West Philly what it's doing to their children. And I mentioned all of it about fibroids and how the hysterectomies, it's just like they don't want us to they don't want us to continue to have kids. I can't even say the words. My heart is just racing. But, so a lot of them, no, it just seemed like they don't care. Like, and I even show proof and everything. Like what they say when you want to hide something from a black person, put it in the book. So pretty much that's just all I wanted to say.
Talked often about how fibroids is sometimes preventable with the right type of diet. You know, but and some sisters know it, but they just cannot escape that diet that they on that is killing them. And so they kill themselves from the diet, and then the fibroids kick in and they just exacerbate and they just get worse and worse and worse. But sometimes it is preventable or curable, reversible.
It actually is. It is curable because I had cured a few females here in Philadelphia and in New York. White women as well from fibroids. There's so many herbs out here that will cure you from literally every disease besides death and old age. It's here.
So what do the women say to you when you tell them about the weave and the glue and the damage that they're doing to themselves? What do they say in response?
Most people think I'm crazy. So I know I think it's 58th in Baltimore. It's the hair store over there, and I was out there for like I stayed for a few weeks. I had one woman, I had, convinced her to at least get Shea Moisture because that's like the most natural thing that you can find in the hair stores. But for the most part, most people ignore me.
Wow.
Or they think I'm crazy. or just don't believe what I'm saying. Like, why? Oh, that's what I always get. Why would they put something here that will harm us? This is America. Like, that's what I always get. I even get that from the food. I'm like, oh, no, don't feed your children anything from these corner stores.
Did you have a response to that, Dr. Johnson?
I just think the sister made a very, very, very good point. You know, the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, who gave us the largest black organization in modern history, and is the only leader of a mass movement in modern history of our race who did not have to use religion to keep the attention of our people. Garvey said, if the black man and woman are not careful, we will drink in all the poison of Western civilization and die from the effects of it. Garvey prophesied this. He specifically said, quote, in science and spirituality lies our only salvation. Science, we don't have no hospitals. Science, we don't have our own standing military. Science, we're not able to take advantage of the God-given resources of Africa because we're not thinking on the level of nation. Dr. John Henry Clark, a Garveyite, said that slavery took from us the black man and woman's natural interest in nation building. We are the only group, Baba David, in the country who have no interest in nation building. Wherever you see the Chinese, they nation building. Whenever you see the Arabs, they nation building. Whenever you see the Mexicans, they nation building. Whenever you see the Jews, the Anglo-Saxons, the East Indians, they nation building. The only group in America you never see building for themselves are black folks. And I mean as a community. I'm not talking about I'm opening up a restaurant to make some money. I'm talking about building for the people. We're the only ones who don't do it.
Wow. A lot of times people would say because they don't trust each other.
True that. The self-hatred. It's self-hatred. It's also the unwillingness to submit to the greater interests of the group above and beyond your own personal agenda. We suffer with that real bad. We suffer with that real bad. Even the assassinations, Baba David, from Africa to America, the assassinations of black leaders, which were carried out or supported by other black people, is an example of that. Because if I know Malcolm is doing a job for the people, if I know Lumumba is doing a job for the people, if I know Nkrumah is doing a job for the people, if I know Dr. King is doing a job for the people, I am not. If I know Fred Hampton is doing a job for the people, I'm not going to let you use me in any way, shape, form, or fashion to undermine those brothers, because even if I don't agree with them or like them personally, they're doing something for the people that my people can benefit from.
That's why I felt bad about Huey Newton when the guy killed him, because he had done a lot for the people. He had done an awful lot, brought extreme consciousness to the people. But I understood that he had got involved in some drugs, and so maybe the person didn't have as much respect for him as he had when he was a Black Panther. But still, he was the same person that did a lot for people.
We have no patience with one another. And that lack of patience is a direct outgrowth of the contemptuous self-hatred that we have for ourselves. I cannot hate you, Baba David, without hating myself, because you are an extension of me. We are all part of one body. The African family is a single African body. You cannot neglect one part without causing harm to the rest of it. You cannot neglect your big toe or neglect your eyes or your ears or your heart or your spleen, because there's automatically a ripple effect to the rest of your body. The same thing goes for us as a race. We are a single body, and you cannot hurt one part and not have ramifications to the other parts. And that's why I'm constantly pushing the concept of Pan-Africanism and unity by any means necessary.